everyone, so today's video is going to be a review of the latest Chubby stick member of the Clinique family, and it is the Chubby in the Nude foundation stick, which the name of it kind of gives me the giggles. But this is something that I was sent, full disclosure, but something that I would never ever in a million years have picked and bought for myself. I know there's lots of brands that do these kind of foundation sticks. Bobbi Brown are quite famous for them. Lots of brands are really into them. Sorry, my hair looks weird. It's like freshly washed. I literally like washed it this morning, and you know when you've just washed your hair and it goes all fluffy and horrible. But it's just not something that would have particularly appealed to me. But this turned up at my door and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I can do a review for you. And I was so wrong about my expectations for this, because it is a lovely, lovely product. I'm going to run through the kind of info of the product first. Then I'm going to insert a little video of me applying it, because I thought it would be good for you to see, because kind of obviously the packaging is a little bit different. And then I'll come back and tell you my kind of thoughts about the product. So I will read to you what Clinique described this product as first of all. And it says, it's a portable perfection for full face coverage or bare minimum touch-ups. Creamy, moisturising foundation. Stick blends easily, builds from sheer to moderate coverage with a natural finish, long wearing, oil free. And they have 10 shades at the moment. I'm looking at the Clinique UK website and it is £23. In terms of pricing, I've kind of looked online and some places have it a bit more expensive, like Debenhams. It was £27, which was a bit weird, but £23 on the Clinique website, which means that it'll probably be that in Boots counters and that kind of thing. 10 shades. There are quite dark shades. The light shades look a little bit pink. I do tend to find Clinique, the foundation colours can kind of be a little bit pinker than I personally like. I like them quite yellow. But that's the information about the product. Now, in terms of it being oil-free, moisturising and all that kind of thing, it really, really is. It's not something that is particularly long lasting, and in terms of it being portable, obviously it's amazingly portable. I mean, look at it, it's just the same packaging as the Clinique contouring stick basically. This fluffy bit here, such a weird thing, isn't it? But it kind of rolls out like this, and the shade I have got is 02 Abundant Alabaster, which I thought was going to be way too light for me, but I always think I'm darker than I actually am. In my head I'm like this bronze goddess, and in reality I'm actually not. But I'm going to insert the footage now of me applying it so you can see. Warning, I do have a towel on my head because it was getting ready earlier, but then I'll come back and talk to you about the demonstration part. You're going to have to excuse how I look. Obviously I'm in the middle of getting ready. Towel on my hair and everything, Soap and Glory hair turban. It's the best thing ever at getting your hair dry. But I thought I'd just show you kind of a quick little demo just to show you how I like to apply this. And basically I think you do need a brush with this. You could use your hands, but because the texture is so lightweight, it kind of gets lost with your hands. It doesn't work as well, I find. I've been using the Sedona Lace 480 brush. I think this is called the like round top buffer or something like that. This is just what it looks like, but you can get kind of similar shaped brushes. I think that kind of it's one of those products you have to use straight from the bullet, and it is something that I think, you know, if you did have acne or anything like that, it isn't the most hygienic way of doing it, obviously, but I've tried kind of put it on my hands and then do it like that, but because the texture is so lightweight it just doesn't work. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. This is what the product looks like in the tube, well, in the stick I suppose. So I just do a couple of lines. That sounded weird, didn't it? I do a couple of lines. I don't. All over kind of my face and look insane. It looks like it's a little bit light, but it's not. Once you buff it in, it kind of does dry down a bit darker as well. And then just proceed to buff that in. I'm obviously looking at the viewfinder while doing this because I want to kind of be able to still see what I'm doing. And it's one of those very kind of brightening foundations almost, because when I looked at the colour I was like, no, that's going to be too light for me. But my face is so much lighter than my body most of the time that it is okay. So that's just with one layer. I don't put it on my forehead. We've had this discussion before. If you're a new viewer, I don't put foundation on my forehead because it breaks me out. I just kind of blend it in a little bit, and I usually put bronzer on my forehead and that kind of thing, but I don't really have anything to cover on my forehead and it breaks me out, so there's no point. And as you can see, it is light coverage. It hasn't covered my pigmentation here or here, and kind of around my eye area is very dark because I'm unlucky like that. So then I like to kind of just add a little bit more in the areas where I like more coverage, but I don't use this to kind of really build up the coverage, because you could. It doesn't go cakey, it's just, it is a sheerer product. It's not full coverage at all in terms of application. And as I said, I know it kind of looks like it's a bit light, but it does dry down perfectly fine. But you can see there, you know, it hasn't kind of covered my pigmentation. You could kind of buff it in like this, just kind of tapping it in and getting a bit more coverage, but I like to go with my Dermablend concealer anyway. Take it down the jaw and just really work into the skin, but it is one of those products that kind of doesn't really need much work. It is so quick, and that's it. That's kind of, you're good to go. I'm then going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and chat to you. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed that footage of me there in my towel, barefaced. But as you could see in the video, I don't think that you can build it up to kind of a full coverage type of texture, just because it is moisturising. It's kind of got a little bit of slip to it. I wouldn't say that it's got a silicone texture, but it definitely has a little bit of a slip. I've just noticed that I haven't got any nail polish on, and I hate not having nail polish on, but I took it off last night because I was going to do it in a minute, so yeah. I definitely was surprised by this. I used it, as I said, the first time with my fingers, kind of thought, and then used it with a brush, and I was in love with it. And it really is a lightweight product. You don't feel it on your skin. I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation right now. It feels so light. Once you blend it in, it is amazing. It really is the type of product for someone who doesn't like foundation but just wants a bit of an evening out. This is great. It doesn't sit in kind of any weird areas, like on me, for example. These kind of areas, I wouldn't say it's like a line, is it? I don't know what you'd call it, but kind of here, the kind of nose to mouth lines, I always get foundation kind of looking weird in those areas. It didn't look weird in those areas. It just looks so natural and pretty. I did obviously put concealer under my eyes and some concealer on my pigmentation, but if you don't have pigmentation, this is a great product. It is very much a product for people who have kind of good skin. I wouldn't say that it's the type of product that you could use if you had kind of open breakouts and severe acne and that kind of thing. A, because the coverage wouldn't be good enough, but B, because as I said, I don't think it would be very hygienic. You can't really kind of put it on your hand and then apply it. It just kind of gets lost in the process and you end up wasting quite a lot of product. But in terms of applying it straight on your skin, it wouldn't be very hygienic if you're moving it from kind of breakout to breakout. But you could, I suppose, if you wanted to. I just don't think it would be the best idea. But I really like it. And the thing that kind of I'm finding more and more with foundations is I like them to be creamy and to kind of look creamy on the skin. I don't want something that's kind of really matte and lifeless. This is so creamy on the skin, but it doesn't feel greasy. Longevity is something that kind of is a little bit of an issue, but it's not that type of product. As they suggest, it would be good for touch-ups. It's more of a kind of weekend foundation, or if I'm in a rush, if I've just got to kind of, you know, nip into town for a few hours, run some errands, I don't need my foundation to stay put. This is what I'm reaching for at the moment. Just put it everywhere, even on a weekend, like I said, buff it in, it looks beautiful, and it lasts for kind of a good 4 hours, and then I'll have to kind of blot. By the end of the day, it kind of has eaten away, and it's not a long-lasting foundation by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not meant to be. Great if you're someone who likes to do your makeup on the go. If you're someone who likes to do their makeup on the train, this would be great to just chuck in your makeup bag. I haven't tried touching up my foundation with it, but I don't like doing that because I always think I've got powder on and kind of oil and the grease, and I just don't think it's very nice. But you could, it would be great for that. And it would be great if you're someone who maybe likes to just wear a tinted moisturiser but likes to just have a little bit more coverage kind of on your chin and centre of your face and that kind of thing. It would work really nicely for that. And yeah, I was so surprised. This is a great example of why PR samples are important, because I think people kind of moan about them a lot, but it's one of those situations where I would never have been able to review this and been able to have shared my opinions on this product with you had I not tried it, because I would never have picked it up for myself, and I was wrong. Great product, and I really recommend it. And I think we will be seeing drugstore versions of this in no time, but I just hope that they get the texture right and that it's not all cakey and horrible. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you've tried this and what you think, and if there are any other kind of products that you kind of thought that wouldn't be for you and then you ended up really liking. Just out of interest, I'd like to know that, and I will see you in my next video.